Welcome everybody, this is Vintage Story, and in today's video we're going to be looking at a group of mods all by the same author, and they introduce dinosaurs to the game. That's right, you heard me correctly. If you're not familiar with the legacy of the Phanerozoic mods, I want to give you a solid thumbs up recommendation right now. Go download them immediately. But if you want to get into some more of the details of how they work and what you can do with these dinos, then stick around for the video. But first, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoy this video, because I've got a whole bunch of Vintage Story content on the channel. And now let's dive into these wonderful and terrifying mods. Alright, and here we're taking a look at the mod page for the creator known as Laughing Gas, and this person is responsible for all the dinosaur mods here for Vintage Story, also known as the Legacy of the Phanerozoic, and you can see there's quite a few. Now, one of the best parts about this mod collection is they're split up into the different animal families, essentially. So if you just want to add one type of dinosaur, maybe you don't want to go with a predator, but you really love Stegosaurus, for instance, you can just put that one in alone to your world, and that's it. And of course, these can be added to a pre-existing world with no ill effects whatsoever, but it is a lot of fun to just go ahead and install all of them into your world and just let the chips fall where they may. In fact, I have a playthrough on my YouTube channel, which was a Homo sapiens run with limited lives, and I wanted to give myself a real challenge, so I went ahead and installed every single dinosaur mod in this collection. And if you're interested in checking that out, you want to see some of these mods in action, I've got that link down below in the description. Also, this website here is linked below too, so if you want to get into these mods right away, check that out. But I do give them a big recommendation, not just because they're fun and terrifying, but because they've got more functionality than just that. So let's actually go to the Tyrant King here, the Tyrannosauroids. We're going to look at their specific page, and if we scroll down a little bit, you can kind of see some of the character models, which look fantastic too, by the way. One of the coolest parts is just being in the world with these massive creatures, and we can see we've got a bit of a breakdown here. So we've got a whole list of the different types, or the dinosaurs of this family that you can see. They will occur in basically different biomes or different areas where the temperature varies. So you can see that we've got a couple of nested options here. We're not going to reveal all of these. They are labeled as spoilers, so I want you to kind of dig into these yourself and discover as you go. But one thing I will point out is we've got the words domestication and riding here, and that is exactly what it sounds like. You can, in fact, domesticate and tame these dinosaurs, very similar to the ways you do regular animals in Vintage Story. And with animals such as the elk, you can even ride dinosaurs too. Now, it's not every type of dino. You'll see that the T-Rex, or the Tyrant King I should say, is rideable. It's got the entry here, and again, I won't go into the spoilers. You're going to have to check that out yourself, and I definitely recommend that you do. But if you look at some of the others, for instance, the Stegosauroids here, they don't have the listing for mountable, but there are others. So that's the Mosasaur. If we look at this one here, yeah, we've definitely got an option for riding, so just kind of look at the details for each one of these mods. But let's go back to the Mosasaur. This is actually one of my favorites right here. I love the idea of inhabiting the world and the oceans too, not just the dry land. So when I saw this mod, that was really what caught my eye. I was like, oh, I've got to have some sort of dangerous creatures out in the ocean. And I can vouch for the fact that these big lizards are definitely dangerous, and they're a lot of fun to see out there offshore, just swimming on their own. And of course, it makes going, on a little swim through the ocean a much more terrifying prospect, no doubt about it. Alright, let's go back to the Tyrant King page, and we're going to scroll to the bottom here because we've got a list of some of the mods that these dinosaur ones work well with. And this one right here, specifically Combat Overhaul, was recommended to me by the mod author of the dinosaurs themselves, Laughing Gas, because what this does is it actually gives discrete body parts to the animals themselves, meaning if you strike a dinosaur in the head, it's going to cause it more damage than than, for instance, a body hit. So it can actually make it a more skill type of game. Obviously, that's going to be a lot of fun, give you potential for downing dinosaurs too easier if you're a good shot. But I will say that the combat overhaul mod really does what it says. It overhauls combat quite a bit in this game. If you're not familiar with it, I recommend you maybe load this up in a single player world by itself and practice with it first to see if you like it, because it's a big change. And if you just jump into it new cold with the dinos in your world, you might not have a good time with it. So just consider that. But it definitely does enhance the experience of the dinosaurs. And again, it's been recommended by the mod authors themselves. But we can see that these dino mods also play well with several of the other animal mods too that you can install, which is funny. But it doesn't mean they won't hunt the other animals, because they definitely will. At least we're talking about the predators now, but I have witnessed predatory dinosaurs hunting the animals of the world, whether they're the vanilla wolves and rabbits or the modded stuff. So it is one of the best parts of this mod, is just how alive the world feels, seeing all the dinosaurs. Although be it terrifying, it is fun to watch their interactions. And of course, we can see it jives well with primitive survival. Now, one thing I will mention is there are going to be nests in the world. You'll see egg nests for dinosaurs. Be careful around them, for one thing, because the parents will probably be nearby. But that's one good way to start the domestication process, is to snag some eggs. But also, if you're desperate for food, you can eat the eggs. Now, I want to mention, though, that when I played with these, I had expanded foods installed as well, and that made the eggs inedible, because expanded foods actually changes the way that eggs are worked in Vintage Story. So it affected the dino mods, but overall you were still able to tame, domesticate and stuff. I just couldn't eat the egg. So that's just one thing I wanted to mention. But there are endless possibilities for these mods, guys. Like I said, if you really want your world to come alive and feel a true threat, then take a look at these wonderful mods. And like I said, if you've developed, a very overpowered character, thanks to some of the other mods here on the database, then definitely put your metal against a T-Rex, or try your luck in the water with the mosasaur, because it is a lot of fun, guys. And again, if you want to check out my playthrough, I'm going to link that for you, so I hope you'll enjoy it. And of course, make sure you like, subscribe, and go check out the legacy of the Phanerozoic mods.